pay your bills and you can use that same money to invest. How? All right, let's start the process. The first step is you have to use crypto. Crypto is the only way this is possible, right? So when you learn about crypto, you learn the reason it was created was to operate outside of the current norms of the finance system and the government's control of money. So what that means is there's a decentralized world where there's no real tie to governments or traditional banks. So when I say you need to create your own bank, what I'm saying is you need to create an area where you can put money that you make into an area where no one can touch it and you can do whatever you want with it, your own bank. What banks do that is different than just holding your own money is they lend money out versus regular people. It's very hard for people to lend money out. It's not a good thing. You give somebody money and then you got to hope they give it back, right? Well, what cryptocurrency and decentralized finance has figured out is there's a way through code to make sure people give it back. So here's how. If I give you $100 and you borrow less than the $100, it's in your incentive to pay me back, right? Because if you don't give me back my my $50 of a loan, I keep your 100. Those are called under collateralized loans. Over collateralized loans. Sorry. Over collateralized means there's more collateral than your loan. So I took $100 from you to hold, as you borrowed 50, right? You pay me back my 50 plus interest. I give you back your 100. So what crypto did was they started creating platforms. I think the first one was Compound, and I think very quickly after was Aave. And what they started to do was they started letting anybody do this. You could put up your crypto, you can lend it out, and people pay you interest for doing this, right? So it's basically you created your own bank with your own assets. Just by loading your crypto onto a website, you are now a bank, right? And the beauty of this is you don't have to chase anybody down for the money, because if they don't return the loan, you keep the original amount, which is higher than what they borrowed. So that's where, like, sounds genius when you think about it. And it's like, how did they never think of this in finance, traditional finance? Traditional finance actually does something different. Traditional finance goes, if you give me $100, I will lend out $1,000 to different people. And then I will give you interest based on you giving me that 100. The government lets me lend out 1,000. So this is why America and a lot of countries get in trouble, because they're lending out more money than they actually have. Versus in crypto, you can only lend out less than you actually have. In certain places, there are places where you can do the same thing, where you can borrow a lot more than you have, right? But in our world, where I'm telling you about paying your bills and investing, this is important, because let's say you have $100 bill. Let's say a cell phone, light bill, internet bill, right? What you can do is you put $125 into your own bank. You lend $100 to yourself. You pay the bill, but you still have this original $125 that is yours collecting interest, right? But that's not where it's done. And this is where crypto is so amazing. You could take that $125 and invest it into crypto, specific crypto coins, not anything. You can't do this with like Shiba and stuff like that. Bitcoin and Ethereum is what I tell people mostly to do while they're learning the system. Of course, once you get better and better, you can do more coins that have more possibility for growth. But you also need more money. You need to have more money, a lot more money than your bill. But let's just take my example of $125 bill. $125 deposited into your crypto bank, and then you borrow 100. You pay that bill. Now your bill is paid. You owe yourself a $100 loan. You have $125 of collateral. Now what you can do is you can invest about $90 of that original 125, right? So in your collateral, what's happening is your collateral of 125 is being swapped into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And now if that Bitcoin and Ethereum go up in value, you have more than the loan. Now you have a choice to make. You can either sell, pay back the loan, or just hold it and keep putting in more money and keep growing your bank, right? Pros and cons. When you sell, you have made money, so you owe taxes. So if I put in $125 and then Bitcoin goes up to 150 and I sell it, I owe taxes on $25 because I made $25, like if I worked in a job. And that's what traders do. Traders basically do that all day, but that's treated as income, right? So if I made $25, it's just like if I worked a job and made $25, the government says I owe tax on $25. But if you don't sell and you just leave it, you don't owe taxes. That $125 could reach $1 million of value and you never have to pay taxes on it because you never sold it. Here's where I really believe this is a game changer for crypto. You can continue to borrow off of that $1 million if that happens. So if over 10, 20, 30 years you're doing this and you reach $1 million of crypto, you can borrow off that crypto and not have any issues with a bank, right? So I'll talk about examples of different people that I know that have different setups and they are unable to borrow from their crypto. I mean, from their, not their crypto, from their assets. And this is why I really want people to understand you could take this same money you're paying your bills with and do this, versus a lot of people believe they can't invest because I don't make enough to invest. I'm paying my bills, and then when it's over and I paid all my bills, I don't have that much left to invest. So why even do it? But if you could use that same money to invest, why wouldn't you do that, right? So now there is a possibility that the price goes down, right? So let's say I borrow 125. I put in 125 into my bank. I borrow the 100. I put it into paying the bill. I have this 125. I start investing. I invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum, Bitcoin come down. Now what happens is if my collateral reaches close enough to my loan, the system will take your original collateral. So what'd you lose? You lost that a little bit more that you put in, right? So if you put in an extra $25, you lost that $25 because the loan got called. So here's where what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a robot that will watch the loan and make sure you never get taken for the loan, right? So if it gets too close, it will make sure to protect your loan by swapping it to dollars so the crypto doesn't fall enough to ever call your loan. That's a major part of what I'm building with this bot, but it might take me a few months to have it. I mean, it's already working for me personally. I'm doing it. But again, for people that don't know about building products, making something work for one person is not that difficult. Making something work for more than one person is very difficult. So that's where right now I'm building that out. Okay, so basically, when you look at this idea of borrowing to pay your bills, this is not new. Rich people do this already right now. Like a rich person that has a bunch of real estate, a bunch of art, a bunch of certain types of assets that are allowed to be borrowed against, this is what they do because they keep buying these assets. So if they make money, right? So let's take it to the start. They make money. Let's say I make $1 million in 1 year because I'm rich. I make $1 million. I owe taxes. I pay those taxes. Then I buy something. I buy something with that money. Let's say it is real estate. So you put that money into real estate and the real estate grows in value over time. So as that real estate is growing in value, I can borrow off of that real estate to live, to buy more assets. And this is what rich people do over and over and over again. But regular people are not able to do this until now. You can buy crypto As that price goes up in value, you continue to borrow off of it. The difference with the old world is you had to go to a bank. You had to walk into a bank and say, hey, I have $2 million in real estate. I would like to borrow 200,000, please. They will have to tell you yes or no, and they can tell you no. If you don't have a job that they feel like you can pay it back, they will tell you no. With crypto, they don't care because they don't mind if you can't pay it back. They just keep your original investment, and it's all done through code. You don't have to speak to a human being. So there's no and a lot of times in poor communities, there's a lot of racism when it comes to getting loans, and that is gone across the world. So there's another big part of this. This is just, I'm talking to you like an American that's doing American stuff, but imagine in a country where you have no shot, you don't even have a bank account, where there's a lot of people around the world that don't even have bank accounts, right? So imagine doing this in a way where anyone in the world can borrow off of their assets as they grow in value. And if they do start to fall in value, the switch is pulled and it sells enough of their loan to protect it.